Just beyond the lively downtown, a woodland oasis, Osterville is home to the Cape's oldest and at 8.5 acres, largest privately owned public park.
So you're going to want to be on this side over here.
Armstrong Kelly Park is, in a word,
Delightful.
with its flourishing gardens, walking trails, nature-inspired park features. Betsy Payne Cook with the Falmouth Artists Guild says it is a popular stop on her art class tour.
This park is lovely. We were coming here for many years. Try to use the side of your drawing tool. I teach adults pastel painting. And in this case, it's plein air painting, which means that I'm teaching them how to paint outdoors.
The trustees took over a few years ago to preserve what was here.
It's really important to have a little space to getting out in nature and really connecting.
But before that, for close to 100 years, the park was overseen, cared for, cultivated by the Cape Cod Horticultural Society and its volunteers. Two are still standing strong here. George, one of the original tractors, and its driver, Vincent Byrne. Despite living here for 3 decades now, he is a self-professed.
Oh, definitely a washer-shore. 95% of the people here are washer-shores.
28 years ago, he followed some neighborly advice. It led him here.
My neighbor says, looks like you get too much time on your hands, you can spend it at the park.
And so he did.
This place has seen a lot of change over time.
He says what you see here today is in large part credit to the foundation the volunteers created, though he doesn't take credit himself.
Grumpy old men, and those were the male volunteers, but we had gorgeous gals. They knew every flower and every weed practically. I was just a gopher.
He still comes every Thursday, his to-do list, whatever needs to be done. He will tell you all about the history, memorials to former volunteers,
David Richardson, retired major.
about the sacred places where grief has found joy. Many consider this train the heart of the park, a memorial to the grandson of a former volunteer.
Liam's train, it's a sad story, but it's a nice story. One of the volunteers, their grandchild, had an accident. Liam's train is dedicated to that grandson.
Now children fill that void with laughter. Artists explore their creativity. New volunteers tend to the beauty. And for Vincent, well, he isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
I'm gonna be here till they carry me out.
Down a long dirt road not far from Main Street, a place where life pays homage to its roots.
Being here at such a spiritual place.
Joe Diggs's family has made a home in Osterville and on this land since the 1800s. Joe, the 3rd generation, grew up here in a time when pond hopping was the mode of transportation.
We had a penny candy store on the street down the middle of town. So we would swim across the ponds, run through the trails just to get the penny candy store and come back home.
His step-great-grandfather, Gideon Gomes, was a Cape Verdean free man of color who set out to establish a life here.
Cape Verdeans were a major part of the network of the business on Cape Cod, whether they were farming or whether they were actually fishermen. Grandfather used to bootleg liquor. Well, it's said that he bootlegged liquor, right? And with some pretty predominant people who used to bootleg liquor. And so what they used to do is actually go out in the bay. They would grab the cargo, right, and put it on a flatboat, drag it to Joe's, the coal barn, split it all up, and everybody would go their way.
When liquor became legal, he opened a bar. Joe's father, George Diggs, then turned this property into a place, as he put it, where time stands still and the fun begins.
Kind of modernized things a little bit. He brought in all the flowers and kind of just dolled the place up a lot. There was a pool, a 20 by 40 pool in the middle.
When the sun sets, the front porch became a place of storytelling and spirits.
No internet, no televisions, no, nothing, none of that. You know, you're lucky if you got a can opener that was electric. You know, he just wanted everything to be simple. We sit out there every day that we can, you know, kind of cheer the day.
Joe has continued that tradition, still enjoys those front porch conversations, and uses the colorful history as inspiration for his canvas.
I paint these portals of people coming back and forth through history, so I actually bring some of the people who were here back in the 40s and 50s back to and make them contemporary and put them with the houses now.
My sister, myself, and my older brother, Craig.
Despite their long legacy in Osterville, he says there is very little in the history books about his family.
We're not going to be erased. I'm going to paint as much as I can and sprinkle as many of these things out in the world as possible so that people will remember.
Pain and purpose collide in his Baller series.
About the Negro League. Economy died along with the league.
There's a lot of emotion in this piece.
Yeah, well, there's hope. There's a young man in the middle with showing his strength. He's like, you know, the next generation's going to carry it on.
Much like this place, he says the road that was paved before him, the people whose legacies still live here. It's priceless.
A few people have come up and said, yeah, how much would it cost to get? I'm like, can you find me another place like this?
And Joe's Twin Villa, the bar that Nicole referenced, was one of the first bars on the Cape to receive a liquor license.
Yeah, Joe says he ran it for years and it welcomed many famous people like Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Kennedys, and they all blended in really well with everyone. He also says the property that he owns now, while it's not on the green list, was a safe place for people of color to travel to.
Up next, a different kind of waterfront view.